Okay, Shalom, Shalom, Kwam Yasha'Allah, Koholoyim La, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Kahahadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth, and just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Yachan on the walk, just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And they've been talking about this heat dome, and it's hot. I think right now, let me see. Let me go to the front of my phone. We can see what it is. Oh, it's 100 degrees right now from what the phone is saying, as you can see it right here. So 100. It's just straight up flat 100. Now, I was just looking at the news because they're talking about, it's 100, but it feels like 105, or it feels like, 100 and motherfucker, what's the damn temperature, man? What's up with all this feel? Like right now I'm looking at CBS News in the backdrop. It says 96 degrees, feels like it's 103. Like what's the, and that's Esau. He gets to playing with the numbers and shit, you know what I'm saying? And what do you mean it feels like? What's the fucking temperature? Either way, it's hot. You see what I'm saying? But see, mine's, it says 100, but it says it feels like 107. Okay, so, and you see they got the little warning sign, the advisory sign. I've been seeing that quite a bit all day. So by 9 o'clock, it's supposed to drop down about 10 degrees or so, 90 to 91. But when I seen the shit on the TV, so I Googled it. And, I've been thinking about this for the past couple of days anyway, why they've been talking about this heat. And so I asked Google, on average, what was the temperature during the time of slavery when they were working in the fields. And you got people out here, they passing out, they're dying, they got heat advisories. They got all I've been seeing on TV is what you should do, be careful, warnings, go to what they got all these different places where you can go and cool down in case you're overheating. They're giving you all the symptoms of whether or not you should go to the doctor and go to the hospital, watch this, watch that, dizziness, nausea, all that bullshit. And I'm thinking about, like, okay, so when our people was in those fields, y'all weren't thinking about none of that shit. Jake worked sun up to sundown every fucking day. Except for on Sundays when pretty much, Esau wanted you to learn about sweet white baby Jesus, which is a fucking idol. Other than that, and even on those days, you was doing something, just maybe not in the fields. But anyway, let's get this. So it says, during the summer, enslaved workers in the American South typically toiled average daily temperatures ranging from 85 to 95. However, in regions like central Georgia and the Mississippi Delta, temperatures regularly exceeded 100 degrees in the open sun, creating extreme, life-threatening heat indices. Right? So did Esau care? He had the kids out there and everything. You was old enough to pick some goddamn cotton. You was out there. You was old enough to, he didn't care anything about you falling over in that damn field. But guess what? That was just work that Jake done. Jake was used to doing the work. And of course, you already know Esau, he can't handle that kind of work. But guess what? He's going to be doing that kind of work in the kingdom. So let's get a scripture. Because he didn't give a fuck. This man is a fucking hypocrite, man. Let me get that real quick first. You got all this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. Because I seen a few articles on, supposedly 1,300 people done died. You got a bunch of damn Edomites over in Europe. They passing out and falling over. It ain't good for them. Shit, who cares? Let's get Job 20. Let me start from verse 4. It says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. So the triumphing of you wicked ass so-called white people is ending right now. It seems like it's been a minute, but to the Lord it's short. Right? And the joy of your hypocrisy is ending. It's just for a moment. Right? Now let me go to Galatians 6 and 7, because you're going to reap what you've sown. Now you acting all as if you care about people. Oh, stay out of the sun. Make sure that you're hydrated. Make sure, and then you got, people, they have to get hydrated off your water that's in a plastic bottle with plastic and shit flowing through their bloodstream, or you got to drink the fucking fluoride water out of the tap. You people are through, man. Galatians 6 and 7. Be not deceived. Yahweh is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So what you've been sowing in the planet for hundreds of years, you're about to reap that, and you're going to reap it double. Scripture says to give it to you double, man. So imagine being in these fields. Shit, who knows? The Lord might turn the heat up some more. You may not ever get a 85-degree day ever in your life, man. You Edomites, you might, every day of your life might be 110 degrees, 20 degrees, or whatever degrees. Every day of your life. You'll never have a winter. There won't be no white Christmases, buddy. No. I'm just speaking as a man. I'm just saying that may never happen for you. You may never get a cool day. Straight up. It may not ever rain on you. So the Lord said, "Give it to you double." Let me get Job 34 and 29 to show you that the Lord, he deals with individual people, but he deals with the whole nation. He deals with nations as a whole. He gonna deal with you Edomites, you so-called white people, as a whole nation. Whether you think you're good or not, you're going into captivity, and you're gonna do that work, man. It says, when he giveth quietness, Job 34 and 29, when he giveth quietness, this is talking about Yahweh, which the world calls God. They call him, all these different titles, but his name is Yahweh, which means that he exists, or the existing one. And the true name of his son is Yahweh Shai, which means that he's the Savior or deliverer in the Paleo Hebrew. So this is talking about, this is Yahweh right here. Job 34 and 29, when he giveth quietness, who then can make trouble? Because he's going to give us quietness. And you Edomites are not going to be able to make trouble anymore. Not with us, buddy. And when he hideth his face, who then can behold him? And that happened to us, because he hid his face from us, and we couldn't. He wasn't. That's the reason why we went into this captivity that we're in. Full-fledged, cold-blooded, cold-hearted, straight flat out, backs beat in, kids fed to alligators type slavery, man. The Lord wasn't playing no games with Jake, man. So it says, when he giveth quietness, who then can make trouble? And when he hideth his face, who then can behold him? Whether it be done against a nation or against a man only. So the Lord is giving you Edomites a chance to rule. You're in your rulership right now, and it's ending. Let's get go to the Apocrypha real quick. Got a little bit of juice on my phone. My phone about to die out. Second Esdras 6 and 9. And it reads, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So this is the end of your world. And the world that follows that world is our world. And guess what? The same things that you put us through, you're going to get double. That's scriptural, man. That's prophetic. To you Edomites that stole the Bible and gave the world white Jesus. So when we get to saying that, you don't believe the Bible. Because you have to know that full well, even from the region that you call the Middle East, that's a pretty hot area too as well. It gets cold, but the Lord was a dark melanated man. I'm just putting it that way, because he was able to they was able to slip into Egypt amongst the Egyptians, his mother and father, Joseph and Mary, at a time when Herod was after him. How you think he was able to blend in with these other dark-skinned people? If he was a so-called white man, a so-called white baby, blonde-haired, blue-eyed white baby, right? He was a dark melanated man. Y'all gonna pay for that. But let me see what else was in here, because it just dawned on me. Let me see how hot it was because I grew up in the South. I worked in fields, and it's fucking hot, shit. Working in the fields, man. But you get out as early as you can. I remember we used to go out 5 a.m. You kind of be working through dew, you know what I'm saying, kind of hard to see, so to speak, with the dew out. And that dew being out lets you know it's gonna be a blistering day. But you wanted to be done with your work by 12 o'clock before the sun reaches its highest peak. So by 12 o'clock, it's 12:30 ish. We was out of the field. We was done with our work, man. We was back at the crib, around that time, man. We as kids, you go to the swimming pool, you get under the water hose, you know. You got some of these. I know in the city, the neighborhoods, they'll come down through the neighborhood. They used to have these that's been a long time ago. I don't know if they do that anymore. They used to have a damn a mobile swimming pool. They used to ride through the hood. It was like a big ass truck. Kids used to climb up on a damn ladder. It was a mobile swimming pool. I remember that shit. But anyway, they'll cut on the fire hydrants, you know what I'm saying, and let the water splash, and little shit like that. If not, Jake gonna turn them bitches on themselves. Jake don't care. Jake twist them bitches open and be out there flooding the streets, man. But anyway, let's go back to what was asked. I asked, on average, what was the temperature when slaves worked in the fields in the South? During the summer months in the American South, enslaved workers in the cotton fields, cotton and sugar belts, routinely faced temperatures between 90 and 105 degrees Fahrenheit in direct sunlight. Because of extreme humidity, the heat index regularly climbed to dangerous levels between 105 to 115, and Jake done this every day. Jake worked his ass off in this kind of heat while Esau was on the damn horseback. He's sweating on horseback. He's just on horseback with a rifle, watching over Jake. He hot as hell just from just sitting there. He ain't doing nothing. He ain't bending over. He ain't doing nothing. They trading off, you know what I'm saying? He might be, they might be under a shade tree watching your ass, you know what I'm saying? With the rifle aimed at your ass. He wasn't in that direct sun super duper like that. They have on a decent hat. Jake ain't had no damn hats. He wouldn't get Jake no fucking hat, man. Jake be out there in that sun just going hard. Enslaved people worked outdoors across seasons, enduring different temperature ranges and climates depending on the region and crop. Summer, cotton and sugar, the peak of growing season, required labor during the hottest months of the year. Temperatures in the open fields often exceeded 100 degrees Fahrenheit with minimal to no breaks. See? You ain't getting no breaks. You might have been able to get you a little bit of water, but the water jug was in the field and your water was hot as hell. You just like drinking a hot tea, man. The damn water wasn't cold. They weren't keeping no ice in the bucket for Jake. Come on, man. Wasn't no coolers. Low country summer, rice. So, enslaved workers coastal southern Carolina and Georgia faced stifling subtropic heat coupled with standing water, which made the environment notoriously humid and breeding grounds for mosquitoes and disease. And I didn't realize that Jake picked rice here, or, dealt with rice. Because, rice is in water, you know what I'm saying, so to speak. It's almost like you standing in, like, damn near knee-high mud. So the mosquitoes tearing your ass up. But Esau didn't care, It says winter. In the upper South, Virginia and Maryland, winter temperatures could frequently drop below freezing, requiring enslaved people to perform other backbreaking outdoor tasks such as clearing land and chopping wood with no shoes on. Jake might have had a pair of boots. He might have had a pair, something to strap around his feet, man, to keep his feet warm. But Esau didn't care, man. Jake be running around barefooted in a motherfucker in sub-zero degree weather. So you Edomites are gonna pay, man. Matter of fact, get that script. You're gonna pay for this kind of shit, bro. See, it's more and more shameful spewing on Esau that's coming out, man. Cause I didn't even know that about the rice. Let's get Habakkuk 2:16 real quick. It says, "Thou art filled with shameful glory." This is the kind of stuff that they don't want in the museums. They're not going to teach this in these history classes, man, with your 250th anniversary. The last thing they're going to tell you is shit like this was going on back then. Thou art filled with shameful glory. Drink thou also. See, they're going to drink also of that cup. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. Yeah, that's a shameful thing, man. When you get to tell you, say you're around a group of so-called white people right now, and you told them this story, or you was reading this out loud, they'd be like, "Oh shit, that's so fucked up. That's messed up, dude." Turning red as hell because they're embarrassed. They don't even want to hear it, and then they're gonna quickly try and change the subject because they don't want to. It bothers them to hear that kind of to hear their history, their own history. It bothers them to hear. That's why Trump and them, they're trying to strip the museums of all the slavery stuff, and but hey, the Lord, what's that scripture? It says that the Lord requireth the past, man. You can't get rid of that information, man. The Lord remembers those things, man. Let me see if this is what I want here. Yep. Ecclesiastes 3:15. That which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been, and Yahweh requireth that which is past. See? So that past, the Lord remembers. The Lord hasn't forgotten any. The Lord knows all the details. See, we don't know all the details as to what was going on. That's just like, like I just mentioned, okay, I didn't know that Jake was picking rice in that particular area. Because you think of rice, you think of China and things of that nature. But, Esau plant a lot of shit. And they only really naming off a few things, But the Lord is he's going to require that pass, man. You're not getting away with that. Let me see. Shit ain't even typing. What the hell going on here? Should have went to the blue letter, but we can see if we can get it in here. Let me start from verse 4, Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues, because the Lord is about to get down on you Edomites. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh hath remembered her iniquity. See that? The Lord requireth the past. He remember your iniquities. He's not, forgetting nothing. He knows all the details. He know everything that you've done. You were being recorded every step of the way. Every little pin drop. What they call them? I can't think of those little pins that they would drop into the ink. Little bird feathers. They get them decent bird feather. I forgot what they call. Every little jot that you put down. Every little slave ledger that you had. The Lord, He has all that recorded, buddy. Verse 5 again. Revelation 18:5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works, and the cup which she hath filled to her double. Yeah, man. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. Yeah, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, and mourning, and famine. And she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh who judgeth her, man. See? And also, verse 9, it goes on to say, And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her, and lament for her, when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Yeah, man. And that's your ultimate judgment. You know what I'm saying? That's going to come to these Americans, man. That thermonuclear fire. But you Edomites that are going to be still alive in the other parts of the planet, hey, you're going to be rounded up. Especially you ones that's, they buying these goddamn bunkers for nothing. We're going to drag you out of them bunkers, man. You're going to be our first slaves. You're going to repopulate the so-called white race, and you're going to bring them ones that's here in the Americas back into the spirit world. They're going to come back as slaves. But first they're going to meet their demise with that fire, man. So the Lord said, measure to you double, man. Give you double of what you done. So when you come back in those fields, you just never know, man. The Lord might place it on the Lord. He says, give you double. If it's 100 degrees when we was doing it, it might be 200 degrees for you motherfuckers, man. And he might just give you the spirit to actually not die and take it. All that color, all you out on the beach wanting to try and turn into a black person. You hate us, you hate our color, but you out here trying to get a damn tan. You gonna get all the heat. You ain't gonna need no sun tanning salons, goddamn it. Okay, so it goes on to say, and I'm gonna end out. I ain't want to keep it long. Plantation owners historically forced enslaved people to endure this extreme weather without proper hydration, shade, or protective equipment. See, they ain't give a fuck. They won't give you no hat. Nigga won't give you no boots, man. He won't give you no shoes to keep you from stepping on thorns and protection. You know, he wasn't doing none of that. He didn't give a fuck about the water being hot as hell. You know. He didn't care about, you know what I'm saying? He ain't no telling, he didn't even care about you having fresh water. He give you some fucking mosquito laden fucking water from a damn sitting pond or some shit. If you want to explore, let me see. Okay, so we don't have to go no further. I don't want to explore no more of it. You get the point. I just wanted to bring out the fact that everybody talking about, I'm still looking at it in the backdrop on the news right now. You know, these meteorologists, they make a, they try and get you to, they try and pull you into these bullshit ass news stations. You know, the average person. I mean, you got a damn cell phone. You can see the weather. I don't even know how these people still on TV. You know, but I just wanted to pull up the fact that you fussing about it as being 96, 97, 98, and all you got to do is walk to your car and get into your air conditioner. You fussing about that. You complaining about that. You sitting up in your house. You may not have no air conditioner. You got a fan. You got a roof over your head that's covering you from the sun. You got that. But these people are still complaining. You know? But I'm pointing out what our people went through with no protective gear, no type of hats, no type of, you know what I'm saying? Our people was dark as fuck back then. That sun was baking Jake. Baking Jake, man. You talking about dark skin. That sun was tearing Jake up, but guess what? The Lord had mercy on Jake, gave Jake melanin to actually withstand that. Because Esau, he can't, imagine Esau in the fields every day from sun up to actual sundown. Imagine that. Him out there picking, bending over, leaning over with a baby on it, the white bitch with a baby on her back and a satchel, picking cotton, bro. Imagine that. Fingers all cut up, blisters and shit. Imagine Esau going through that. That motherfucker can't take that type of work, that kind of work, man. You see when Trump swooped up with ICE and ran all the immigrants off, swooped up on all Northern Kingdom that was out in them fields picking that shit. Did they go and get them jobs? They fussed about, you know what I'm saying, Issachar or, Northern Kingdom basically taking their jobs. Did any of those people go out there and pick strawberries, blueberries, oranges, nectarines, whatever the fuck? Nah. Them Edomites they can't take that kind of work. Esau, he can't handle going to an office job. Shit get too stressful for him, man. He coming home, he gonna fuck the wife up. He take out the whole damn family, man. And then himself. Even the damn dog. Dog ain't got nothing to do with nothing. And now they boo-hooing and they crying, what's going on? What's with these prices? We can't afford anything. Man, Jake been going through all that shit since we been here, man. So fuck y'all. You deserve every fucking bad thing that comes to you. You deserve it and some. So I'm going to end out there, man. I pray that the lesson was edifying. Kum Yasha Allah and a bubble ball.